And that, of course, is Tori Amos, and specifically from A Piano, The Collection, a quite extraordinary box set, which I think Tori should tell you about herself. Hello.
Hello, Simon.
This is not just any old box set, because anyone goes to their local record store, they'll find hundreds of the things. Just, do you want to describe what I'm looking at here?
Well, you get more of an octave with this piano. It's keys, and you open the keys, and inside this box there's the music, 5 discs, and a picture book, really. Not a pamphlet, but a real book.
A work of art.
I hoped people would think that.
I'm thinking Christmas?
Yes.
You're thinking Christmas as well?
I am too, yeah. Yeah, I am, because it's, I think it's 15 years put into, as you know, I love the piano. She's my lady, and I wanted people to feel that way about her.
Piano's a she, is she?
Mine are.
Right. Why is that?
Well, have you seen the shape of their body?
Well, it's got a curve.
The hips. It's very Marilyn Monroe.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, mine are.
I was just thinking of it.
You need to come down and visit them.
Really?
Yes.
The only disappointment is you can't play it. It looks like a piano, a little bit of a piano, but the keys don't work.
Well, the Chinese told us that if we did make it that way, that they would probably break. So I couldn't take the risk.
The Chinese made it, didn't they?
The Chinese made it. Okay. Part of it was made in China, part of it was made in Mexico, and the third part was made in Pennsylvania.
But you've worked very a long time on this, haven't you?
Yeah, a little too long, can you tell?
Yes. So this is a career retrospective.
Correct.
We've had best-ofs, we've had kind of compilations before. The thought behind this is, this is like a collected works. This is the back catalogue?
This is it, yeah.
All of you is here?
The end of an era.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Why?
Because I think you pull it all together. What I've tried to do anyway is to pull all these pieces. The minister's daughter, the pianist that was going to be a classical something or other and wore black dresses that were way too tight and became a hussy, and it didn't happen. And the side of me that went through some violent things and survived it. And then there's the side that became a mom. And all of that is in this work that's a piano. And then I'm going to do something different.
So when you say end of an era, you really do mean that? So
yeah, I do. I really do.
So you're going to stop?
I'm doing something different. No, I'm not going to stop, but this is the end of the last 15 years. 15 years of my life.
So what do you do next?
We'll see.
You must have an idea.
I've got something up my sleeve.
You know what the problem is? It's Cornwall. That's what's got to you. You know, while you're in the States, everything was fine. Then you settle down in Cornwall, and all of a sudden you're thinking of other thoughts.
Well, I'm thinking of high heels and creating, and I'm thinking that my daughter is 6 now, so she can understand that there's a Tori that can't go to school. You can't take that to school. You can take Mommy to school, but there's a side that has to now go confront certain issues in America that need to be addressed.
You're not running for president, are you?
No, I would never do that to myself. Plus, I don't think anybody...
You're being very enigmatic.
I only have a certain kind of bush, Simon. Not the kind that would win a presidency in America.
This is turning into a typical Tori Amos interview, isn't it? You talked about going back 15 years, and you talked about you in the past and the black dresses and being the daughter of a minister. The first time you realized that you enjoyed music was when?
Well, I guess when I was a really little girl, I would run to the piano because it was the only place where people didn't tell me what to believe in. As a daughter of a preacher who I think he was really good. If I'm honest with you, I think he was good. I think he was grooming himself to be the next Billy Graham, and wasn't. And with that, though, comes a lot of pressure on the family to toe the line and to be a certain way. And the trouble is, I don't see the Bible or religion like they do. So the music was the place, before I could leave home, where nobody could catch me. They couldn't walk into my worlds of music. They couldn't find me there. They couldn't wash my mouth out with soap. They couldn't take the devil out of me at communion because I was listening to that devil music. When I would write music, they didn't know how to find me there. Even though they could touch me physically, they couldn't find me. I was thousands of miles away.
So were they disappointed?
Yeah, I think they were for a long time. But you see, that's because they had an idea of who I should be as a child prodigy. And it didn't really work. Songs such as Father Lucifer didn't work within that belief system. And I think, my dad looked at me once and said, at dinner we were serving chicken after Sunday church. I'd had many records by then, and I was sitting there, and he said, Tori Ellen, I just have to ask you this, and it's really bothering me. I said, sure, Dad, what is it? He said, how could you see me as Father Lucifer after all these years? And I put down my fork. I said, oh my God. I said, no, Dad, I was in Hawaii having a ecstasy trip with a shaman woman, and I had sex with Lucifer, and it has nothing to do with you. And he said, oh, praise Jesus, let's eat.
Right, I could imagine most fathers not being particularly reassured by that answer.
Oh, he's thrilled.
Let's play a record. Let's play something that is inspirational to you. Something, if it's a grim old day in Cornwall, then there's one or two, and things aren't going quite so well. What'd you put on the CD?
To me, the greatest rock band that ever lived.
Chaz and Dave?
Well, I do love Chaz and Dave. Covered some of their songs, love them, but it has to be from the band that taught many Christian girls how to move their hips.
The New Seekers.
Oh, my mama, gonna make you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
You want some Led Zeppelin?
Yes, that's what I want.
Okay, well, we'll do that then. Special request of Tori Amos, Led Zeppelin. But that's very good. I quite like you doing that.
Wow,
you need to rock out more.
That's a really good point. I think you're onto something.
Is this the next phase that you're referring to?
Maybe it should be.
Tori rocks.
Maybe, why not? At 43 years old, maybe it's time.
Why did you find Cornwall a fantastic place to be? It is one of the most fantastic places anyway. I don't think many people need telling that. But how is it that an American discovered Cornwall?
Well, a husband went there as a boy, and he loved it. And we couldn't make up our minds where to live in London, because he wanted to live in South London. I couldn't do that, because I couldn't write music down there. So he said, well, let's leave then, because I'm just not going north of the river. So we left. And in Cornwall, it's a mixture, as you know, surfers and farmers. What a group of people. To hang out with these two groups, farmers' sons, surfers' daughters, it's the greatest thing. I love being there. The people are like none that I've ever met before. There isn't a forced spirituality. It's not as if you run into these crystal shops and King Arthur, and I've got nothing against anybody's desires and beliefs and that. But there's something so authentic. These people, it's almost as if they have roots that come out of the soles of their feet and into the land, and they're chiseled out of it.
So you can write songs there?
Yes, I can write songs there.
Anyone looking through your previous albums and looking through the track listing on this collection, you talked about the fact your father was sort of disappointed with the way you turned out from a spiritual point of view, but spiritual language comes through almost everything that you do. So what kind of spiritual person are you, if any kind of spiritual person?
Well, I mean,
I can't imagine that you would fit any label particularly.
Well, I really tried to get my dad to read the Gnostic Gospels, as a bridge, a place for us to kind of meet at the round table. And he said, as far as I'm concerned, if it's not in the Bible, then it doesn't exist. And I said, yes, but Dad, let me take you back to a time when you put together my anthology and you edited out some of the most important tracks, I think, of my career, so Crucify, God, they weren't on there. So why couldn't then a man of the church edit out certain things Jesus said that he didn't agree with? Stands to reason, doesn't it? Well, the conversation ended there. And I guess having read the Gnostic Gospels now, and having growing up in the church as I did, I could see that maybe Jesus' Christianity was very, very different. How he saw women, to me, he was the first Christian feminist. And that Christianity is not what I was brought up with.
Yeah, I was right. It doesn't fit any label, but it's the way you see it. What does your dad think?
Well, I think that now my dad, he's getting older now, and it does trouble him that women aren't looked at as worthy of being disciples. Where are the women prophets? I mean, if we have Emily Dickinson, if we have Jane Austen, if we have all these poets, and now in my time, Joni Mitchell, if we have all these people, Sylvia Plath, where are they? They were there. They existed. So when I began to read the Gnostic Gospels in my 20s, and I was able to see that, yes, they were there, it made me see that this Christianity that my family had been so committed to edited out what I thought was a huge part of, well, I'm a woman, my place in the religion. So as a woman, I felt we were edited out.
Let's play another track from this collection. Tori, do you want to choose one?
Well, why don't you play God? Because we've just talked about religion. Why don't you play that?
Okay, we'll do that. So when do we get to talk again, Tori?
Maybe April?
That soon? Okay. Tori Amos, a piano, the collection, and you'll know it when you go into the shop because he's got a great big flipping piano on top of it. Tori, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Simon.